Welcome back to Football Pie, but not Football Pie quite as you know it. Football Pie 2017. Happy New Year to you all.
Yeah, hope you had a good New Year's, Christmas, all that malarkey, and enjoyed the tremendous amount of football we've had over the festive period. Games left, right and centre.
There was an awful lot, wasn't there? So yeah, out of the FA Cup now, that was also very exciting. Third round always gets me, but we're back in the Premier League now. So time for another prediction show, Gameweek 21. Let's take it away. So this first game, I think, could be a tight one. Spurs and West Brom have drawn 5 of their last 7 league meetings, so yeah.
Yeah, it's been... West Brom have always made it difficult for Spurs, home and away. But I think with Spurs' record of 13 unbeaten games at home this season, their best record, should I say, since 2000-2001 season,
that's crazy.
You would expect Spurs to take this win, but I've just got an inkling somewhere deep inside me.
Yeah,
I think West Brom, the form they're in this season, you know, they've made it difficult for Spurs in the past. The way they're playing this season, I've actually gone for a 2-1 win for West Brom.
Putting your cards on the table there, Wayno.
Balls on the floor.
Balls on the floor, indeed. You got to put your balls right on the floor with that one, gone straight in there. I'm going to be much more conventional. Spurs are on fire at the moment. Dele Alli is perhaps in the form of his career so far. 7 goals in his last 4 games or something ridiculous like that. Wouldn't be surprised if he got on the score sheet here. High on confidence. I've gone for 3-0 Spurs.
Very contrasting.
I think I just think they're on form, but I can see where you're coming from because Spurs, as we all know, can just bottle it on days like this. So I wouldn't be completely surprised if it went your way. But 3-0 Spurs for me. I'm playing it safe. Next up, we've got another home game for Burnley. We all know the score by now. Burnley are pretty ferocious at Turf Moor. What was the stat again?
Out of their 23 points they've earned so far in the Premier League this season, 22 of them have come from home games.
Absolutely ridiculous. That's more points, I think, than Man United and Man City have both earned at home. So pretty impressive in itself. What's that, like 96% of their overall points. With that stat, I've got to play it safe again and go for 2-1 Burnley. Generally, when I've predicted Burnley to win at home this year, they haven't let me down. So I'm going to put my trust in the Burnley boys again. And go for that. But yeah, I think it will be a tight game. I think a particular battle that will be fascinating to watch will be Andre Gray versus man of the moment Virgil van Dijk. People just can't stop talking about the Southampton centre half at the moment, can they?
Yeah, I don't blame him at all. I do think I've gone slightly differently with this one. I've gone for a 1-1 draw. I think Southampton are going to come into this game with a lot of momentum, try and take that momentum into the other league game. But I do think Virgil van Dijk, at the heart of the defence, are going to stop Burnley in their winning ways. So yeah, as I said, 1-1. For our next game, we have Bournemouth travelling off to Hull, sitting at the bottom of the table very uncomfortably. I do think this is a very standard win for me for Bournemouth. Rested all of their players in the league FA Cup, regrettably so. But I think the freshness of the players, the quality that they are performing at currently compared to Hull's, I mean, for me it's a very comfortable 2-0 win. I do think the only thing for Hull, the only thing they're saving grace at the moment is Robert Snodgrass, where if he doesn't turn up, they've got nothing. They've got absolutely nothing in my eyes.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, I think the only thing I can say for Hull actually is that their managerial change, Silver's come in, has actually worked quite well so far. It's only been a week, so early days, but they won in the FA Cup. They also gave Man United a really good game actually midweek in the League Cup at Old Trafford as well. So they really rose to the occasion despite the loss. And yeah, you mentioned Snodgrass there, key player for them all season. I do think it's going to be 2-2. I think a late Snodgrass free kick, as has been a fixture for them this season. They are without Mbakani and El Mohamedi, who are off to the African Cup of Nations, but Bournemouth are without Max Gradel as well. So yeah, bit of an even there. But yeah, I expect Bournemouth to control this game.
Definitely.
But I just have a feeling that Hull are gonna fight back. So yeah, 2-2 for me. Another interesting game here. Sunderland, would you believe, are unbeaten in 14 home games against Stoke, which would have anyone saying that this is a Sunderland win. I would normally say that this would be a Sunderland win, but they are missing 2 key players, Lamine Kone and Didier Ndong, both key players for them recently are out at the African Cup of Nations, so I think this could go the other way. I think Mark Hughes will be riling his Stoke team up after their disappointment in the FA Cup, and Peter Crouch has just signed a new contract, so I think he's going to be wanting to
so I think the ghosts of Stoke's come
the ghosts of Stoke have come to haunt me, but I'm going to go for 2-1 Stoke.
No, I disagree with that wholeheartedly. There's a lot of things that draw me to a Sunderland win with this one. The fact that you have said they are 14 unbeaten at home against Stoke. Nice little stat attack for you. Stoke have never ever done the double over Sunderland.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That was a stat attack and a half.
Weren't expecting that. But no, with as you said, Sunderland are missing players from the FA Cup of Nations, but you're forgetting Diouf and Boney, and I do know there's another player. I can't remember his name now, but another player has gone off. But the two strikers have gone off for Stoke. And I think with stats heading towards a Sunderland win, both of them missing key players, I don't see any other change. So yeah, I've gone for a 3-1 Sunderland win.
Ambitious.
Arsenal head to Swansea for our next game, as we see Swansea slowly turn from a majestic swan into an ugly duckling.
Oh, nice one there.
Yeah, did kind of mess up the wording, but it's all right.
Yeah.
They've been playing terribly recently. I mean, they've sacked Bob Bradley before he could really do anything. I mean, he was picking up pieces.
He was rubbish, though.
He was rubbish, but he wasn't. He was given a crap situation, so it's hard to pick up the pieces with that one. And on the other hand, we've got Arsenal. I mean, Giroud scored something stupid like 12 goals from his last 17 shots on target. Let me check that fact. Yeah, got it right. But I mean, they seem like they're maybe performing a bit like Man United. Late results, but getting the job done. Compared to Swansea, I don't see anything coming from them. I just think see the situation getting worse. So I've gone for a 4-0 Arsenal win.
4-0, big win for Arsenal there.
Yeah.
I do think it's going to be a win for Arsenal as well, but I think it's going to be a bit tighter. I think big test obviously for Paul Clement, but I do have faith that he is going to at least rear the ship of Swansea a bit. I think we are going to see a bit more respectable performances from Swansea come late in the season, because to be honest, I think they were giving Aston Villa last year a run for their money in just awful displays, no bollocks whatsoever in their performances up until now, and I think they will rise to the challenge on Saturday, but I think Arsenal are just getting the rub of the green at the moment, and yeah, like you were saying, Giroud just seems to be in the right place at the right time all the time these days, and he is looking all the more smug with every game for it, as much as that pains me to say. But I've got to go for 1-0 Arsenal, another late Giroud goal there. And down to Vicarage Road, I think this is going to be a pretty tight game between Watford and Borough. Borough could have Gaston Ramirez back. He's been a very important player for them attackingly this season. But I think it's just too tough to call. I've gone for 1-1. I can't really see much between these two sides right now.
Yeah, it is a very difficult one to call. Just from kind of previous games between the two, Watford have done the better. I think it's unbeaten in 6 against Borough. I think it's 4 wins, 2 draws. Don't hold me to that. It could be wrong. But I know that Troy Deeney always enjoys this fixture. 6 games in his last, 6 goals in his last 8 games, shall I say? So, as it's a difficult game to call, I mean, there are some key players out. It seems like a tough game, but I think Watford will just edge it. So yeah, I've gone for a 2-1 win for Watford.
Nice. And Deeney is now under less pressure now that he's got his 100th Watford goal finally. So maybe we will see him on the score sheet again.
Yeah. Well, he does love a goal against Borough, so we'll see.
Indeed.
But yeah, 2-1 for me.
And on the subject of Watford, we can't not mention Graham Taylor, who sadly passed away this week. Absolute legend at Vicarage Road, and I'm sure the ground will be a very emotional place on Saturday. The tributes will be pouring in for him. Amazingly, in 6 years in the late 70s, early 80s, he took them from the 4th Division League 2 now to runners-up in the top flight.
Absolutely incredible achievement.
Not many managers can say that they would have done that.
I think you can only see 1 or 2 instances like that have ever happened in football. He was unfortunately mocked by the Sun. I think that's why he's probably most well known, unfortunately. Which is, I mean, coming from the Sun, it's
Who hasn't been mocked by the Sun?
It's pretty given considering the newspaper that they are.
Yeah.
But I mean, his achievements are there for all to see.
Yeah, returned to Watford in the 90s as well, and took them back
to the Premier League.
So
not only that, he did some good things. I think it was Aston Villa. He did some good things. So, but it's mainly Watford. He's an absolute legend there, and celebrations of his life will definitely be there for all to see.
Yeah, rest in peace, absolute legend.
Two teams who have been heavily affected by the Africa Cup of Nations players leaving for that competition, with West Ham losing Kouyaté and Ayew, and Crystal Palace losing Zaha and Sakho.
All key players, those.
Yeah, definitely. Very, very key players for both teams. Amongst that, you've got Payet refusing to play for the club now to request to get that transfer in.
It's not looking good for Bilic, is it, right now?
It is not looking good for Bilic.
It never has been this season, really, but now more than ever.
This is a, I wouldn't say a make or break in his career, but it's definitely a make or break game in how the season is going to go for West Ham in my eyes. But I do think they will pull through. I don't know. Something about this game is just, for me, calling a West Ham win. I see a lot of goals, a bit of, I don't know, uncertainty within the game itself. I think it's going to be quite a messy game. But I've gone for a 3-2 win for West Ham.
Yeah. Well, Bilic will be hoping that that is correct. I've gone for slightly different. I do think, I kind of agree with you. I think it's going to be end-to-end, it's going to be sloppy, it's going to be low on quality, everything we love about the Premier League, basically. But yeah, I think West Ham without Kouyaté in there, I think their defensive fragilities are going to be exposed even more. I just think players like Christian Benteke, I do mention him a lot, but I think they always thrive in this, and maybe Andy Carroll as well.
Yeah, I think he's injured, Benteke.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So
maybe that changes things.
Pulled the plug on that one.
Doesn't change my mind though. I think Big Sam, coming back to his old club, he really wants to win for Palace as well. I just think he's going to edge it today. I think in games like this, Big Sam has a lot of experience, and I think he's going to pull through. I've gone for 2-1 Palace for that reason. So now the champions hosting the champions in waiting, maybe. Anyway,
we'll see. It's a scary thought, but you know.
But Leicester have taken a big hit from the African Cup of Nations. Mahrez, Slimani and Amati out. Big hit. And playing Chelsea in the kind of form Chelsea are in. They did lose against Spurs, but they will be hoping to kick on after that. Chelsea don't really have any injuries or anything. I can't see anything other than a comfortable Chelsea win, to be honest. I've gone for 3-0 personally.
I completely agree with you. I don't see much really coming from Leicester in this game. Chelsea will be the dominant force, trying to put their stamp back on the Premier League title race after that slightly, I would say, slip at Tottenham. I wouldn't say it's too much to worry about if you're a Chelsea fan. I've gone for 2-0 myself.
Yeah.
I think Leicester, although they did beat Everton without those key players who've gone off to Africa.
Yeah, true.
I just don't think they'll have enough for Chelsea. They have just been too good, and Chelsea will not want a repeat performance from that Tottenham game, because I thought they were quite poor, especially in the midfield.
I don't know. I thought Chelsea were alright actually. I just thought Tottenham just completely
they weren't their usual selves. I think is the best way to put it.
Perhaps they weren't.
They just weren't. Conte not going to allow that to happen again. So
General Conte.
So yeah, 2-0 Chelsea. And on to Sunday, where we have two games. Manchester versus Merseyside, both of them. Very exciting day. It's going to be very enjoyable for any football fan. First one being Everton versus Man City, I should say. I think, for me, it's always going to be a Man City win. We're confident, we're looking sharp, we're looking clinical. Everton, on the other hand, slipping up against Leicester. So I don't really think there's going to be too much coming from them. I do think, we're not going to want to make the same mistakes as our last game against them, where we took the lead and then left it too long without scoring another and conceded that awful goal. So for me, I've gone for a 3-1 win for City.
3-1 win. I've been very boring. I've actually gone for the same scoreline, 3-1 for me as well. I think it's going to be an open game at Goodison. I think with Idris Gueye out at the African Cup of Nations for Everton, and with Fernandinho missing through suspension, I think both teams are going to be missing their kind of midfield linchpins, and I think that's going to make for quite an open game. I think Everton actually might cause City a little bit of a scare. I think they might take the lead in the first half through Lukaku or whoever, and then I think City will kind of kick into action and show their quality.
I'd have to disagree with that one. I think it's going to be, as I said, we're not going to make the same mistakes with Everton. We know they can score against us. We're going to try and bury the game as quick as possible and maybe 70th minute they'll come up with a consolation goal for the fans who haven't left the stadium already.
Well, who knows, we'll see, But 3-1. So now from the boys in blue to the boys in red in Manchester versus Merseyside. This is a massive game for both of these clubs. One of the biggest games, I think, of any game in the season. Always a fixture, obviously, Manchester United versus Liverpool. This is the 50th Premier League meeting between these sides. If Wayne Rooney plays at any point as well, it will be his 450th Premier League appearance. Not to mention, obviously, if he does score, he overtakes the Bobby Charlton record. So we've got all that going on. Massive. I am so looking forward to this one. I am... really excited. United in the slightly better form, in really good form at the moment. Liverpool are winless in their last 3 games in all competitions, so there are question marks over their form at the moment. Having said that, Liverpool have been good in the big games this year. I thought against Man City and against Chelsea earlier in the season, and against Arsenal as well, but particularly Chelsea and the Man City game, I thought Liverpool put in a very intelligent performance, very contained the opposition very much. So Klopp is growing into these big games in a big way, but I still think United are going to get this one. I think it's going to be an even game, but their confidence is riding high at Old Trafford at the moment, and I just think United are going to take their chances. I think it will be even, but Liverpool won't take their chances and United will take theirs, so I've gone for 2-0.
Yep, I've gone for exactly the same score.
Once again.
I think for me it's one of those things, you covered it just now. Man United are growing in confidence while Liverpool have lost theirs just slightly. We do have 2 players out for this game, Eric Bailly and Mane from United and Liverpool respectively, off the African Cup of Nations. 2 very, very crucial players in my eyes. Bailly is absolutely incredible when he does play. As you said, he hasn't played that often, so maybe not as much of a miss as Mane, who's been absolutely incredible for Liverpool. You saw at the beginning of the season, he was absolutely on fire. Still a very key part to that team. So I think, I don't know, it's going to be a very entertaining game, but I think the way Mourinho plays when he's got a confident team following the strategy, he usually comes up on top. So that's why I've gone for a 2-0 win. So those were our predictions for this week, as you can see in the lovely table we have plopped on screen for you. Also, your predictions would be lovely to hear. A bit of contrast would be nice. I've been quite cocky this week, put fuel to the fire and put a 50p bet on all my correct scores, so we'll see how that works.
That is a very risky game there, considering you never get the results right.
No, I've been good of late, so I want to keep that trend going. I mean, who knows, you might be able to afford some lighting. Yeah,
that would be nice. That would be nice. Not quite poolside in Miami, but baby steps.
Getting there.
But once again, if you enjoyed the video, give us a like. If you liked what we're doing, give us a subscribe. Stay tuned as well, because 2017 could be an exciting year for Football Pie. We've got lots of plans in the works, so stay tuned. Lots of new and exciting content on its way. Once again as well, join us on Facebook and Twitter, links in the description. All our social media down there. Check out our latest blog posts on the website as well. And once again, thanks for watching.